Hello YouTube, Persian here. I thought I'd make a video of everything I've done to my truck to help squeeze every bit of life and miles out of this vehicle as I can. Made a mistake and bought this thing brand spanking new and took a beating in the depreciation. But on the flip side, I never plan to sell the truck. Only way I get me a new truck is if it gets stolen and unrecovered, or if it gets totaled. So other than that, I plan to keep this too old to drive. Anyway, what you're looking at on the differential cover is the Mag High-Tech upgraded diff cover. This thing will hold, I think it holds a half a gallon, or it's a 1 gallon, one of the two, I don't remember exactly, but it holds more oil than the factory diff cover. And you can see the fins on it. Helps to dissipate some heat. And one of the coolest upgrades on this, you got a drain plug. Doggone factory, they never think much about putting drain plugs in that, and transmissions and other stuff. And up here on top it has the fill plug, a little dipstick, and a magnetic end to help capture any kind of metal shaving, so it's pretty cool. So this should help squeeze every bit of life out of this thing. And I do run AMSOIL on everything, except for one exception. I'm going to probably go back to Vitality for the engine oil. But power steering, transfer case, automatic tranny, both front and back differential, all that does have AMSOIL. So, and the next upgrade I popped for, on all four wheels, I got the Russell Speed Bleeder. What it is, it's you turn it a quarter turn and it has a check valve in it, one-way valve. So one person can change oil, change the brake fluid or bleed the brakes by themselves. You don't need one person opening and closing it while the other one is pumping the brakes. And these are quite expensive, but since this vehicle holds quite a bit of brake fluid, I'm trying to remember, I think it was about 2 quarts, and I actually used the Prestone synthetic brake fluid at Walmart, which is under $5 a quart. But it makes things a lot easier when you're pumping out that much fluid when you're doing the brake fluid change. And don't forget to change brake fluid. They say every couple of years. Actually do a little bit more than that. You don't want it getting dark. When it's getting dark, it's contaminated. Brake fluid likes to absorb water, from what I understand. It's just good to keep it clean. And when you got these on the big truck, it makes it so much easier. Just pull off the little protective cover, get you a piece of flexible hose and pour it in the milk container and have at it. It's real easy. Maybe next time I'll do that, I'll make a video on how easy that thing is. But that was well worth it. For a regular passenger car, they hold such little amount of brake fluid. It's really not worth it due to, like I said, these are expensive. But on the truck, they're worth it. On the passenger car, I don't feel like they're worth it. I'm not going to pay for it. Other folks might want them regardless. So, you know, that's choice. I want to take you around the rest of the vehicle and show you what I made upgrades to. Bear with me. My video editing software, for some reason, not working. It's not like an AVI file, so I'm not going to be able to pause this. So it's going to be a little bit bouncy for a second. So bear with me as I move around the rest of the truck. Okay, one of the better upgrades I feel is really important is I put in an external transmission fluid filter. Yes, this does have an internal filter. That thing is teeny tiny, and you gotta drop the pan and everything to change it. Serious pain in the butt. Like the Allisons, they have the external tranny. I think they all should have this. This is a Permacool transmission filter. And one thing I do want to show to you, it has side ports, in and out and everything. Whereas the one I have mounted on my daughter's Camry, it's a top ported. And on here, I went with the side mounts for 2 reasons. One, on the top, you got in and out only, which wouldn't have worked here because I wanted more ground clearance. And 2, I added this oil sample valve. This way I don't have to much easier to take an oil sample for an oil analysis and send it out instead of disconnect anything. And you can see I got a little piece of toilet paper shoved up in there to help keep out the road dirt. Now before I put this in, running AMSOIL, I only got 25,000 miles on that synthetic tranny fluid, and the filter was just used up. And I know this because I sent this out for an oil sample to Blackstone Labs. And as expensive as AMSOIL is, that just don't cut it. My daughter's Camry is pushing about 35,000 miles, and I've changed the filter out a couple times, and her fluid's holding strong. So at least in my book, that's well worth it. Wish I had done it a long time ago. I'll probably run this here another 10,000 miles, do a sample, take a sample, send the oil analysis in, see what they say. Been using Blackstone Labs for years. The other upgrade I did, as you can see, is a Mag High-Tech transmission pan. This is their double deep, and I almost wish I hadn't got it because I have a super large factory transmission cooler. I should wish I had got the standard deep, but you can see it's aluminum, it's fan for heat dissipation, and it even got the drain plug, which makes life easier when changing the stuff out compared to factory pans don't have a drain plug in it. I know some of the Fords do, some vehicles do, some don't. I don't know what the hell they're thinking. It makes life a lot easier to put a drain plug in like they do for the oil. But anyway, that was a good upgrade. Helped cool it, extra fluid in there, hoping to squeeze a lot more life out of that tranny fluid. Up in here, you can't really tell, but on the hot side of the line, from the hot fluid out of the transmission to the cooler, I have a T. It's a whole piece I replaced it from Gino's Garage, and I got a gauge on that so I can monitor the transmission fluid temperatures. You can go to Gino's Garage to see if they got that for your application. I wanted to monitor the heat coming straight out of the transmission to the cooler, and not what the heat in the tranny pan was doing. So I popped that, and then back there you'll see the Fumoto oil drain valve. For street applications, yeah, you can't beat it. If you do any kind of off-road, mountains and stuff, no, I wouldn't use that at all. Hit that with a rock and you're in trouble. You can see how high profile that is for a drain plug, but for your street applications, I wouldn't worry much about it. And it does make things simpler. One day when I go change the oil, I'll make a video how easy that is. Well worth it in my books. So there is the the upgraded Mag High-Tech transmission pan, double deep. Depends on how big if you don't have a cooler, yeah, go double deep. If you have a small cooler, go double deep. But if your vehicle has a huge one, I'll show you mine here real quick. Don't go double deep because it tends to overcool on that transmission, which is not good. I need to figure something out on that. And let me stand by again while I take you to the next upgrade I did. Okay, I did pop for some gauges. I myself, I like Automator. They're pretty good. Pretty expensive. They're real proud of their stuff, but I've been happy with the gauges. On the left you can see the pyrometer that monitors the exhaust gas temperatures, which is real important. And for you your diesel owners out there that don't know it, make sure before you shut your diesel down, you idle it for a little bit to cool off the oil in the turbo, or you're going to burn up the oil, what they call coking it, and you will kill your turbo, and that's expensive. The amount of time varies on how often I have to let this idle down. As you can see, it's stuck on 3, and that's why I let it cool down to 3. Sometimes it gets there in an instant, sometimes it takes a while, and it's not just due to the temperature outside. Before I put that in, my rule of thumb was it idled for about 45 seconds unless I did any kind of towing, because I didn't want to burn up my turbo with shutting it down with a hot turbo and cook that engine oil. In the middle is the transmission gauge. As I said before, spraying for a different outlet would put a T on it so I can monitor the tranny temp straight out of the transmission before it got to the cooler. I want to know precisely what it was doing. On the other side is the engine oil temperature. One thing I will upgrade to, So I'm going to put an engine oil cooler on there. This thing will hit about 220 plus if I'm towing or going faster. And that's a bit higher than I want it at, so I will be putting on an engine oil cooler here at one time, and more on that when that time comes. And the other gauge I got was a boost. That was, now I got to think about it, that was a waste. I should have put in a fuel pressure gauge to monitor that fuel pressure, which is kind of important. Boost was just kind of the heck of it. Eventually I might swap that out, because on a diesel you want to make sure you keep that fuel pressure. If it dips too low, you can cause some problems. Alright, hang tight, let's get to the front of the vehicle. Here's where the boost tapped in and everything. On the Dodge, at the time when I bought it, Dodge recommended to go with the True Flow high efficiency, high flow air filter instead of K&N, because the turbos were pulling some of the cotton fibers out of the K&N. Well, hell, True Flow went out of business and stuff, so it's pretty hard to find a cleaning kit for them. I did get one not long ago. Yeah, I can get 2 cleanings out of one kit. Before I got the kit, I used Uni, which is a motorcycle foam filter cleaner and oil. So that is an option. As far as I know, it's okay to use it, and I'd rather use the name brand that came with it, but if you can't, you can't. And probably eventually I might wind up having to go to a K&N unless someone comes along and replaces those people. Or if any of you guys out there have know of a better one, hey, let me know, let everybody else know. Because that was a pain when True Flow went out of business. Right there is the tap for the pyrometer, the engine exhaust gas temperatures. So that's where it was tapped in, right above the turbo. Oh, there's one thing I forgot to mention I wanted to show you. It's a pretty nifty upgrade for the gauges. Well worth it, and let me get there and I'll show you. Again, apologize for all the bouncing around. My video editing software just doesn't want to work. Anyway, these got LED lights in them and they're pretty bright. And I sprang for this dimmer switch. Made a lot of difference here. I'm probably going to keep it there. Haven't mounted it yet because I ain't quite sure. Now, full brightness, that's pretty bright at night, especially on really dark roads. It can be a pain and get that glare, so you can adjust it down, like you see, to almost nothing. So I think that was like a $30 upgrade. Well worth it if you're getting these autometer gauges, because they are bright. And if you think you're going to use your dimmer switch, think again. It's not going to work. That's annoying. There we go. So if you get these, budget in for that dimmer switch. That does make a world of difference. Alright, anything else you guys done to your truck, let me know. I'm always up for ideas and everything. And if you have any ideas of a better cleaner, since True Flow went out of business on that air filter, let me know too. And again, thanks for watching. God bless you. Persian out.